Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the video. Let us discuss Nokia and Microsoft. So it has been unveiled that Microsoft have finalized and closed the acquisition of Nokia. Now, I'm sure many of you are probably familiar with the fact that they were going ahead and trying to buy them for a while now, and obviously it was a rather large deal. In fact, it started way back in September of last year, 2013. And it had announced that, yeah, we want to buy Nokia's mobile phone business. And after several months, we've finally been told that the regulatory approval has been, well, given. And now Microsoft have acquired almost all of the Nokia devices and services segment, and it also has agreements on the licensing patents, the licensing, the HERE mapping technology, and so forth and so forth. So now Nokia's devices are going to be known as Microsoft's Mobile OY, by the way, which is apparently a rather interesting name, and it's looking like it's going to be run as a subsidiary of Microsoft. So it's not had an official announcement of how much cash Microsoft had to cough up for this. So although there's not been an official price, it is expected to be at least 7.2 billion, and in fact it's most likely going to be slightly higher. As I said, an exact figure hasn't been given, so it's going to be 7.3 or 8 or whatever. No doubt we'll eventually find out when the reports are issued. But the 25,000 Nokia employees, or former Nokia employees I suppose, are going to be continuing their employment now as Microsoft employees, and indeed, the former CEO to Nokia, his name is Stephen Elop, is now going to report to Satya Nadella as Executive Vice President of Microsoft Devices Group. And indeed, there's going to be a few other changes. So, for example, the Nokia phones and the recently forked ASOP, that's ASOP versions of the Nokia X phones, in addition to the Xbox hardware services, perceptive pixels and accessories. So he's got a lot of different responsibilities. So, what does this all mean? Well, Microsoft have been pointing out that they are now a service company, or rather a software company no longer. This was actually announced by Steve Ballmer back, I think it was last year. And instead now they want to focus on the devices and services, and with this acquisition they are starting to maneuver themselves into this. Now, I think it's fair to say, when most people say to you, or when you ask someone, what cell phone do you have, dude? What phone do you have? Or what tablet do you have? Most people will answer, I've got an Android. I've got an iOS. I only know one or two people, I think, that have actually told me I've got a Microsoft, a Windows phone or Windows tablet. Now, I'm not saying they don't exist, because obviously the devices are selling, but in terms of market share, it's, well, lower. And Microsoft obviously don't like that. They obviously want to change it. So it's going to be rather interesting in that respect. And of course, in 2011, Microsoft and Nokia did sign that exclusive partners agreement. And obviously Nokia has had quite a bit of influence actually on the Windows Phone ever since then. So, manufacturing, Microsoft has started to become quite familiar with one another. Obviously, you've got the Surface 2. It's been in short supply, and it's not exactly known how well it's going to do. But I think it's fair to say that Microsoft are moving on to the cloud technologies, obviously part of their service strategy. They want to move on to devices as well, because let's face it, handsets are quite lucrative, I think it's fair to say. And this obviously means that they're eventually going to start moving into really big competition. Obviously, that means there's a lot of cross-pursuing right now. I'm sure many of you are aware of the HTC, the Apple, the Samsungs, and all the others that are accusing each other of stealing patents and everything else. So obviously, that's a huge issue, and the reason, of course, they're doing that is to basically try and block each other's products. There's been a lot of, what's the word? accusation. I don't want to say name throwing, but accusation, I suppose, that certain people are being employed to give negative reviews of certain products as well. So it's really, 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 really brutal in the market at the moment. So I'm curious to see how Microsoft really handle that with so much name calling and mudslinging. Anyway, as I said, I guess we can only watch this space. Anyway, I'll see you soon. Take care, and bye for now.